What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. I know today is Call of Duty Next, but I just want to cover it all tomorrow, recapping all of the news that we found out about the game. So look to that tomorrow. But for today, XDefiant released their last patch for Season 1, patch 1.5, as they transition from Season 1 to Season 2, which comes next month in October. They have to put all those resources into that, or that's how I understood Mark Rubin's tweet talking about it. So this is it. This is how the game is going to play for the final month of Season 1. And while we got some significant movement changes, we also got some changes to ranked mode that were much needed. So let's dive into that on today's video. First and foremost, the new tweak to sway penalty. Instead of the sway penalty increasing from jumps 4 to 5, you will just get the maximum sway penalty after your 4th consecutive jump. There's no more progressive jump sway. It's just giving you the worst penalty right off the bat. Now, personally for myself, not something I experience, not something I use because I don't jump spam. If anything, I'm strafing in midair, which we'll talk about in a second. They also did some nerfing to jump height, where they progressively lower the heights of your jumps upon subsequent jumps. So after your first jump, the jump height is set at 70% of the max height, then 49%, and then 34% for each subsequent jump. And there will also be a landing speed penalty as well. So all of this is culminating into them trying to move away from the bunny hopping jump strafing meta. And speaking of jump strafing, the midair strafing speed is now reduced by 25%, so you're going to be feeling a little bit more stuck in the mud, and horizontal jump speed is also reduced by 10%. Now, these aren't massive numbers, maybe the 25 more so than the 10, but they should be noticeable enough for you, especially if you utilize them as everyday mechanics or you play against them in every single match. You should notice a difference. Now, I'm not here to definitively say this is game-breaking or game-saving. I've only played about 2 to 3 matches, one of which you're seeing here, and honestly, I didn't notice much of a difference. Maybe the more I play of this patch, the more I'll discover, especially with Rockefeller coming out, with it being a little bit more of a small area map. Maybe there'll be more things I uncover. We'll have to wait and see. We've also seen some animation speed reductions to stand to crouch, crouch to stand, stand to jump, sprint to slide, and slide to jump. So all of this might lean into the game actually going more of a movement direction versus just being a jumping, strafing meta, where you're going to be able to do things a little bit quicker. I have found that the crouch to stand is a lot quicker now, and I did find it slow before, so I'm glad they made this change. But again, I'm going to reserve my long-term judgments until we see this for a few more games than just 2 or 3. I don't think that's fair to take a sample size that small and say definitively the game is better or worse. They fixed a few exploits on Daytona with walls that you could shoot through, as well as a bug causing a connection error where players stood on a railing in Echelon HQ map. Not something that I personally experienced, but maybe you did. But now we get into the meat and potatoes of this patch. The massive change to ranked mode that we've been asking for forever. Ranked play now has ability restrictions. This means any given ability can only be chosen by 1 player per team, thus encouraging teammates to select different abilities. Thank you. We've been asking for this for so long, as phantoms have ran rampant within ranked play because everybody wants to use the barrier shield, and why wouldn't you? I mean, it's one of the strongest abilities in the game, especially in a game mode like ranked. And the nice thing here is that your ability isn't locked for each game. Let's say you want to use Libertad's Biomed boost, and later in the game you're realizing, you know what, maybe I need to use the GSK tripwire. Perfect, you can switch to that ability, and then somebody else can now use the BioVita boost. Good, awesome. So it doesn't lock that ability for the entire game for the player. You can still move around as long as you're using an ability that no one else is using. The other change here is ranked mode has tuned the speed up rank progression while also increasing loss forgiveness, so losses are less likely to tumble in your rank. That's a nice change. So more RP is earned for winning, but less RP is lost for losing. This is hopefully to try to stop people from quitting out of matches, I guess. I'm not really 100% sure why people are so motivated to quit, but we'll get to that in a second. Because they discouraged ranked mode competitors from bailing mid-match, because now the penalty has been increased from 40 ranked points to 50 ranked points. And I like that. There were two other matchmaking bugs that they addressed, one that was preventing ranked players from matchmaking in the ranked lobby, and a second bug that let ranked players invite other players outside the matchmaking restrictions while waiting in the queue. So basically two boxing, but in ranked play, which is insane. Imagine being a silver player and all of a sudden you just see somebody who's diamond ranked come into your game, because who cares, right? Let's get this win. And then just to finish this one off, there were various different graphical and audio fixes as well as crash fixes. But you will notice there is nothing in this update about netcode, and that's because I believe there's going to be massive changes to the netcode throughout Season 2 as they ramp up for the Christmas season. Because I think they want to really deliver moving into Christmas so players are more enticed to play this game, get the Season 2 Battle Pass, and grind the game through that. But that's just my take right now. What I do want to ask you guys as we come to a close with this video is, how do you feel about everything that's been delivered throughout Season 1 of XDefiant? It's very clear that they've learned from some mistakes, because at launch, Season 1 was a bit of a disaster. But as we move throughout the season, definite changes and improvements were made to the gameplay, to some of the core complaints that the community had, as well as improvements to ranked play. All of this has led the game into a much better path. Now, there's still some core problems that this game has, but are you confident that we're going to see positive progression throughout Season 2 the same way we did with Season 1? That's what I want you to answer down below. And as always, guys, the patch notes will be linked down below in the description if you want to take a look for them yourself. I'm not going to put them in this video just because I kind of paraphrased everything, but if you want the full descriptions, take a look down below in the description at those patch notes. So that's what I'll leave you guys here with today. I'm excited to jump back into XDefiant, even with the Black Ops 6 beta this weekend, because you need to mix things up sometimes. Playing too much of one thing is never good. So switch up your games, try a little bit out, let me know how you feel about the latest patch in XDefiant. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, can you please hit that like button? If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.